Welcome to WesternSlopeNow.com. Meteorologist Russ Pappas here. It is September 7th, Tuesday. We have a short work week. I'm not sure which kids are not in school today, but nonetheless, we came off of a long holiday weekend. We don't have hazardous weather, but I will say this. There is now an air quality health advisory in place, and it's because of the smoke being transported in from Northern California, Pacific Northwest, Idaho, the northwestern and the western wildfires. Now, our flow is the northwest flow, and that is courtesy of this ridge of high pressure. It has clockwise rotation. So while this is anchored in the western third of the United States, any wildfires on the west coast, any wildfires in the Pacific Northwest get caught up in this flow, get circulated to the north, and then dropped right down across Wyoming, Utah, western slope of Colorado. So that's why we have the smoke thick today, and that's going to continue through Thursday, probably Friday as well. Also, what we're going to experience throughout the work week will be breezy conditions, though not enough wind to move this smoke, but we're going to be breezy, 15 to 25 miles per hour, basically this evening through this time next week. So that's about a week's worth of wind. It's not a lot of wind. It's certainly not spring wind, which can be quite rambunctious. This is contained below the 30-mile-per-hour top gust zone. We're going to maintain mostly clear skies, even though you can't tell with the smoke lingering around. Mostly clear skies through at least Thursday night, Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday, we're going to introduce partly cloudy skies. We will have a couple of weak systems. You'll notice the cold front, which is draped across the Pacific Northwest now, or I should say Thursday. That's the first in a series of low pressure systems that's going to drag across the northern tier states. That's going to help break down our high pressure systems stronghold, because under that ridge of high pressure, we have these dry, we have these warm, hot, and we have these rather tranquil conditions. Unfortunately, it's also contributing to the smoke that I previously mentioned. But these series of low pressure systems will bump that high away and allow some moisture to ride in underneath. So we will be looking at Saturday and possibly Monday mountain storms. I think we're going to be too dry at the surface to get any rain, but that does mean lightning and wind will be the bigger hazards. And of course, with those two alone, then you have to concern yourself with fire weather concerns. So we could be under some red flag warnings. While that may not occur, we should certainly be on the lookout for lightning strike wildfire starts right here on the western slope once we get into the start of the weekend and the start of next week. Just a couple little windows of opportunity to get those lightning strikes, those isolated storms in the mountain zones. Outside of that, it's dry. Now, we are 14 days away from the autumn equinox, and again, you felt it this morning. 33 at Gunnison. Again, they've already been at the freezing mark already a couple weeks ago. Montrose was at 50, Grand Junction 57 this morning. Average low temperature this time of the year, 56 for Grand Junction, 51 for Montrose. So that's exactly how early September should feel, is how it felt this morning. And getting into tomorrow morning, we may have a little bit of cloud coverage, not a lot, just thin high clouds, and that may be just enough to bump up our low temperatures a degree or two, but still, this is about how we're going to feel for early September. This is about the average. Now, we will also experience the breezy conditions in the morning hours. So basically from about 6 a.m. until about 7:39, breezy, treetop level wind. It's going to be dancing the leaves. Not a lot. There's really not a lot of wind, but that's when you're going to experience the 15, perhaps 25 mile per hour speeds. So far, 4 o'clock recording of this web weather. Highs at Grand Junction, 90. We're supposed to be 85. Highs Montrose, 85. We're supposed to be 82. So that trend of hotter than average continues on this Tuesday. It's going to continue all the way through the end of this work week. Again, we're not setting records, folks, but we are going hotter than the average for this time of the year. Again, wind in the forecast, top wind gust 15 to 25. That's going to continue through this time next week. Temperatures again tomorrow afternoon running hotter than the average for this time of the year. Sunset on this Tuesday right around 7:30. Sunrise on Wednesday right around 6:45. And that is dependent on your location. And you'll see right through Thursday the hotter temperatures. On Friday, and again, throughout the course of this upcoming weekend and into the start of next week, we start to introduce partly cloudy skies, so that should trim back our high temperatures. And speaking of trimming back our high temperatures, if we don't achieve the forecasted high in the next several days, we can blame it on the smoke. Don't blame it on the meteorologist, blame it on the smoke. That would prevent us from getting too hot. And as we look at Montrose, same situation for the upcoming weekend. We're going to introduce partly cloudy skies. We're going to lower our temperatures a little bit. We will look at Saturday. We will look at Monday for those mountain storms to pop up. But outside of that, very dry levels at the surface. So we're going to be looking at lightning, and we will be looking at wind, gusty outflow wind as the big primary impacts. Of course, that would lend itself to wildfire starts. We will maintain breezy conditions through the forecast period. So this entire extended forecast, again, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Average high temperature, again, is exceeded at all locations right about until we get to the end of our upcoming weekend and the start of next week. So that's something we can look forward to. Again, the countdown is on, the autumn equinox, 2 weeks away.